here at the 2015 Project Impossible, where people enter their photos and are awarded different prizes by select judges. Let's go check them out. Kathy, could you tell us what Project Impossible is?
Well, it's a show that we've put together. We ask for submissions from people in the community, photographers, artists. There's actually some kids that have entered this. And we ask for submissions, and they go out and they take images on Impossible Film, which is an instant film that's made by a company called the Impossible Project. And we've put it all together and got this venue and hung it on the wall. And everybody who has submitted something gets to have an image in the show. So it's called, this particular one, we've called Photographs from the People, because I wanted it to be really inclusive and, you know, everybody have an opportunity to have an image up on the wall.
And so it's people from all different walks of life that could enter this contest?
Anyone who wanted to, who was interested, who found out about it, could enter it, yeah.
You have select judges that are going to award different prizes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we had 4 judges this year. 2 of them actually were from Science World. One of them is Joanne. She looks after I think she calls it the flat work. So the walls, anything that's hanging on the wall, they've got sort of an art program where they, hang art that accompanies science. So 2 people from Science World, 1 person from Photo. Jason was a judge. He looks after our rental department. And we had 1 person from the art community, actually from Vancouver Photo Workshops. Kit was one of our other judges.
And so tell us a little bit about your prizes that you guys are actually awarding.
We have quite a few different ones. There's a Polaroid camera. And Science World has been very generous and donated some passes. And the OmniMax Theatre at Science World actually donated some frames of OmniMax film, which are really, really interesting. I can show you one after, actually. So that was really great of them. And we've got Impossible Project film and sort of little accessories from Impossible Project. So it's quite a variety.
So the Project Impossible event, it really stemmed from the Impossible film, is that right? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
The Impossible film? The Impossible started in about 2009 when Polaroid stopped making film. They made their last film in 2008. And people love their Polaroid film. So people were very, very sad. And somebody bought the last factory that was producing Polaroid film, and they redid the formulas and got all of the machinery going again and started producing this film. Which is why it's kind of called Impossible, because everybody said it's impossible. You can't recreate that, but they've managed to. So the fact that the Impossible film is even here, I think is pretty amazing.
And so why this medium for Photo though? I mean, you guys could have created any event, but why this Impossible project?
We actually do. We encompass all mediums. We love all mediums. We're kind of attached to this one. I don't really know why. I think because in some ways, everybody's using the same types of cameras, the same film with the same quirks, and it's interesting to see what people get. It's almost equalizing, everybody has the same camera, the same issues with the cameras and the film. So in some ways, kids can get amazing images equal to some of the professional photographers that enter. So I like that about the film. I like that there is only one. When it comes out of the camera, you can't reproduce that. It's an object, and everybody shoots digital now and on their cell phones, and this object becomes precious. And I think people don't really understand that until they go through a pack of it and it's empty. They're like, oh, they value it a little bit differently. So
yeah, it's a one of a kind. You can't Photoshop it. You can't digitize it at all. But you know what? I know you're super busy, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for coming out and seeing the show. I hope you enjoy it.
We will. Thank you. Durga, tell me about the pieces that you entered into this exhibit.
I entered an 8x10 Polaroid that was with a view camera, and it's of a chopsticks and a fan. And I chose 8x10 because I just wanted to try a new size of photo that I'd never tried before, and I think it was a really good experience.
And so do you think that you'll stick with the 8x10 or after this point?
I think I'm gonna continue making more 8x10 photos, but it's not gonna be my only size I'd stick with.
And now, the picture that I saw, you actually composed yourself in the shot. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to do because you have to hold your hand there for a long time because you have to measure every time measurement and it takes a while. So your hand gets pretty tired after a while, but it's worth the wait.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to have you here, and they're beautiful pieces. So Chris, how did you actually hear about Project Impossible?
Well, I saw it online, and when I go into the store, Nicole told me about it as well. So.
And now, is this your second year actually submitting your photos?
Yes, it's the second year. I put a picture in the first year. The first year, the picture was some Polaroids, well, they're not Polaroids, some Impossibles of a stapler, and they were then stapled onto a piece of wood. So I like the physicality of the photograph, and I like to work with it after it's come out of the camera, attach it to things, cut it up, do physical things to the actual image, because that's what interests me, is the physicality of the image, and that of course is what's really unique about Impossible, is that it's actually an object.
And so tell us about the couple of pieces that you submitted this year.
Well, this year I took a picture of a tulip, and then I framed it up and put the actual tulip that I photographed inside the frame, and so, naturally that decomposed over time, as does a photograph, just that they're at different rates. And so I was really interested in how the flower would decay and the photograph would remain, but in a way a photograph is always about the past. It's always about death in some ways, right? Because it reminds us of what is not there.
That's really profound and very deep, Chris. Tell us about your other piece that you submitted. It was scissors?
Well, the other piece was some shears, some metal shears, and I took a number of pictures of those and then kind of collaged them together, which is hardly a new thing, but it was kind of interesting because the idea was that it looks like a bunch of clippings, and so it was an actual image of shears, and then the images themselves looked as though they'd been sheared and then kind of reassembled. So it was kind of a little bit of a play on the actual subject, the subject of the picture having some sort of physical influence on the actual photograph. That's something that interests me quite a bit.
That's awesome. And I want to congratulate you because one of your photos, I believe it's a tulip one, you actually got Judge's Choice Award, is that correct?
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. That $50 to the judges really paid off.
I should try that next time. But congratulations, and it's great having you here.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, Liam, how did you find out about Project Impossible?
I found out about it through Nicole from Bow Photo. She sent me an email with the details, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's do this. And I really wanted to see pictures from other Impossible Project shooters and get involved with the event.
And so tell us a little bit about the photos that you actually submitted for the contest.
I submitted 3, and 2 out of the 3 are double exposures. It's shot with a Spectra camera, and that's my favorite camera to shoot with. Just because of the artistic, dreamy effects that it gives.
And so why Polaroid for you?
I switched from, well, I didn't switch. Digital took a backseat to Polaroid photography for me about a year ago. And since then, I've taken about maybe 300 images. I've loved it. I've collected many cameras. And I like the nostalgia of it. I like the tangible quality that you can actually hold a picture. And I didn't like the amount of reproduction and editing that could be done with digital photography. I wanted something a little more basic and analog.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to have you here, and enjoy the night.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Liam.